of a coalition of Cambodian NGOs who work on the subject of human rights and sexual orientation and gender identity. We welcome the Cambodian government's willingness to engage in the UPR process, and particularly for accepting the recommendations to continue to combat discrimination suffered by the children of marginalized and vulnerable groups and eradicate gender-based stereotypes, as well as their recommendation to implement all measures aimed at amending or eliminating patriarchal attitudes and stereotypes discriminating against women, including those based on the Shabazz rate and Shbab pros. We would like to emphasize that LGBTI people are part of such vulnerable groups and continue to struggle for equality and respect. LGBTI people in Cambodia are subject to discrimination, abuse and violence, or state sanctions as a part of their existence by the denial of their human rights. Attitudes and stereotypes that are based in patriarchal systems also contribute to stereotyping, stigma, and intimidation targeting people based on their real or perceived sexual orientation and gender identity. We call upon the Cambodian government to effectively implement these recommendations that address the discrimination that marginalized and vulnerable groups in Cambodia, including the LGBTI community, face. We stand ready to work with the government in implementing these recommendations. At the same time, we express our concern that the government will not particularly address the human rights violations on the grounds of sexual orientation and gender identity. We therefore call on the government to take the following measures: immediately repeal laws that directly and indirectly criminalize sexual orientation and gender identity and expression, establish national-level mechanisms and review existing human rights instruments and programs to include the promotion and protection of the equal rights of all people, regardless of their sexual orientation and gender identity, and depathologized sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, and promote the psychological well-being of LGBTI people in accordance with the WHO standards. Thank you, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you very much.